Today I got to hang out on Main Street with Justin Kelly. He's the director of I Am Michael, starring James Franco and Zachary Quinto. So tell me a little bit about the film and what inspired this story.
The film is based on a New York Times article called My Ex-Gay Friend, written by Benoit Denizet-Lewis, and it first appeared in the New York Times magazine. And Gus Van Sant, who was our EP, actually read the article, and it was his idea to turn it into a film. So he approached James Franco, because with such controversial subject matter, he thought he'd be a good fit, and of course he loved it.
Good.
And then I'd been making short films and music videos and working on other people's productions for like over 10 years. And Gus and James both watched a short that I made that had some kind of like similar subject matter, and they both really responded to it and thought it'd be a great fit to write and direct this film.
What drew you to the film?
A lot of my work deals with identity, and in particular, stories about people who want to be someone else or be perceived as someone else. And this story is like the penultimate version of that. I mean, for someone to go from one extreme to the other, all because he, is kind of like afraid of being perceived as a certain kind of person. It was exactly the kind of stories that I'm drawn to and that I want to make.
Yeah. Now you also have an editing background. You edited for a long time on other people's films.
Yeah.
Having that background and then becoming a first-time feature film director, was there anything about that experience that helped you also shape the film?
Big time.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted to write and direct. Since I started like as a set PA in the late '90s.
Wow.
But to just have a gig in the meantime, I would edit, and I ended up editing a few independent films, and to just work with other people's material and see what works and what doesn't, and what feels like too much coverage and what's not enough, was so helpful. But but you still always end up making drastic changes in the edit room that you would never expect.
I think everything's in the eye of the beholder, but are you nervous at all that the controversy behind it might take away from people really being able to, take in the beauty of the story?
Well, there's only one sex scene, and it's really it's not quite as scandalous as I think some of the press has led on to believe. And at first, when it kind of became like the main talking point, a little bit like, well, the movie's so much less about sexuality. It's about identity and perception and belief and religion, and it's really like the sexuality, whether it's a sex scene or just someone's sexual preference, the movie's really not about that.
Right.
So I was concerned at first, but it brings the film attention, and if that makes more people go see it, then why not?
Any press is good press,
Exactly.
Right? Now this obviously is made based on a true story. Were you in contact with any of the real people that the characters were based on, and did that help you with the making of it?
Yes, I was in contact with almost all of them.
Wow.
So the first kind of big research trip was to visit the real Michael Glatz in Wyoming. That was probably about 2.5 years ago. So I interviewed him, and we kind of like built a pretty decent rapport, and I could call him if I needed anything over the next few years. Which is definitely a bit of a bizarre experience, because I'm a gay director and he's an anti-gay Christian pastor. He's since kind of changed his tune a little bit. And that obviously was invaluable. And then I interviewed and met the ex-boyfriends of in Halifax, his sister, a lot of people in his life, and the juice of the script came from all those interviews.
I almost feel like it's not necessarily a Christian movie, and it's not necessarily a gay movie, but it's a very much a human movie.
Yeah. And that's been really confusing people.
Yeah, because they want to make it about the issues.
Yeah. It's like, maybe called a gay film or may not, but it has gay characters, it has some gay content, but it's really not about that. It's not about these issues. It's about like one particular person's journey, what he went through. It's very unique.
Yes.
The angle is not at all to say that what he did is right or wrong. But yeah, it's exciting to make a film that has, like what I would like to think are strong and interesting gay characters, but it's about something much bigger.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. It was really beautiful. Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really loved it.
Thank you so much.
Join us tomorrow for How We Do Movies on StudioDaily.com. We'll be having drinks with Danny Zappin. He's the former CEO of Maker Studios, and he's going to talk to us about his new company, Zealot.